Back-to-back strong quakes rocked Venezuela, killing or injuring over 1,000 people, with toll likely to rise. In response to the arrest of bookshop owners over seditious publications, the government states there will not be a list of banned books. And let's see which national teams advance to the knockout stage at the World Cup. Good evening, you're watching Cable News. I'm Quentin Yan. Two powerful back-to-back earthquakes struck Venezuela local time Wednesday evening, killing at least 164 and injuring over 970. The government declared a nationwide state of emergency as rescue teams raced to reach the worst-hit areas. The United States warned the death toll could exceed 100,000. Chaos erupted at the Simon Bolivar International Airport in capital Caracas as the quake hit, with passengers scrambling for exits while ceiling panels and light fixtures collapsed. The airport was later shut, stranding thousands. In a suburb tourist village, buildings cracked and crumbled, sending frightened people onto the streets. As the disaster struck during a public holiday, people watching World Cup at home were terrified as furniture was violently thrown across rooms. The first quake, magnitude 7.2, struck Yaracuy State, west of Caracas, at around 6 p.m., at a depth of 22 kilometers. Just 39 seconds later, even before the shaking subsided, a stronger magnitude 7.5 tremor hit nearby at a shallower depth of 10 kilometers. The back-to-back quakes, among Venezuela's strongest in over a century, were felt more than 1,000 kilometers away in Bogota and across parts of the Caribbean, triggering brief tsunami alerts. Rescue teams are combing through rubble for survivors, while the military had been deployed to support emergency operations. Acting President Delcy Rodriguez said the country had entered an emergency phase, and U.S. President Donald Trump said assistance was ready. The U.S. Geological Survey estimates a 44% chance the death toll could exceed 10,000 and a 30% probability it could surpass 100,000. Separately, a shallow magnitude 5.6 earthquake struck Northern California in the U.S. the same day, leaving more than 6,000 people without power. Separately, an earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 7.2 struck northeastern Japan this morning, injuring at least 4 people. The temper was felt as far as in Tokyo. The quake occurred off the coast of Iwate Prefecture at 7:30 a.m. local time, at a depth of 44 kilometers. Meteorological Agency measured upper 6 on the Japanese seismic intensity scale of 7 in Hashikami of Aomori Prefecture. The earthquake was initially reported as having a preliminary magnitude of 6.9 and a depth of 50 kilometers, but those figures were later revised. The temper disrupted the Tohoku Shinkansen bullet train services and forced schools in Hashikami, the hardest-hit town, to temporarily close. The weather watchdog urged the public to remain alert for similar droughts over the coming week or so. Experts testifying at the Wanfu Court fire hearing described the severity of the blaze as unprecedented, and some residents had no time to escape. They said chimney effect and leapfrog effect contributed to the rapid vertical spread, with flames in light wells reaching its peak within minutes. Jamie Liu reports.
Today's witnesses are Polytechnic University professors Asif Usmani and Jiang Liming, appointed as fire engineering experts by the independent committee. They found that many Wanfu Court units began with a smoldering burn before triggering flashover, a sudden burst of flames. The professor said a chimney effect triggered by the building's light well design fueled the fire's rapid vertical spread. They also pointed to a leapfrog effect, meaning flashover flames gushed out of burning units and ignited the windows above, driving the fire upwards. Usmani described the severity as unprecedented, with the fire rising at 10 meters per second, faster than the 2017 Grenfell Tower fire in London. Analysis shows that at Wang Cheng House, where the fire first broke out, smoke quickly filled the emergency stairs through modified stairwell windows and cut off the escape route. Jiang said even though some units were not in flames, residents died from inhaling smoke. The experts concluded that the disaster revealed systemic failure and called for policy reviews. They recommended a series of measures, including to avoid covering neighboring buildings with flammable materials at the same time. They also called on authorities to strengthen oversight of high-rise renovation, especially residential buildings. However, the professors cautioned against assuming fire-retardant nets and canvases could stop the blaze, noting Grenfell Tower's materials met standards, yet still failed to prevent tragedy. The independent committee has finished holding evidential hearings. Chairman David Locke said he is preparing a final report of the probe. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
In other local news, Hong Kong National Security Police have arrested 2 bookshop owners on suspicion of selling seditious publications and money laundering. Security Chief Chris Tan reiterated the government does not judge sedition based solely on book titles, nor will it establish a list of banned books. The involved Hunter bookstore on Keelung Street in Sham Shui Po has shut its doors after officers raided the premises on Wednesday, seizing books, documents, and other items alleged to contain seditious content. Police later confirmed the arrest of 2 persons in charge of the store: 33-year-old Letitia Wan, a former district councillor of the now disbanded Civic Party, and a 32-year-old local man. Authorities alleged the pair sold and displayed publications with inflammatory content, including a biography of jailed media tycoon Jimmy Lai, along with works by other anti-government figures. The shop was also accused of serving as a base for soft resistance and fundraising activities, as police said it had repeatedly hosted talks and sharing sessions targeting young people and students, inviting individuals described as anti-China and anti-Hong Kong to incite hatred against the government, judiciary, and law enforcement. It was further alleged that the bookstore collaborated with other anti-government businesses to organize exhibitions and film screenings, many of which charged admission. Police also accused the bookstore of receiving multiple remittances from foreign political organizations, in breach of Hong Kong's Safeguarding National Security Ordinance. The suspects face offenses including acts with seditious intent and money laundering. The raid comes after another operation in March, when National Security Police searched another Sham Shui Po bookshop, the Book Punch, and arrested its owner and staff over suspected sale of seditious publications. Chief Executive John Lee met with tertiary education leaders to discuss the city's first 5-year plan, stating that the plan and the upcoming policy address, which begins public consultation on Monday, follow the same strategic direction. Sherry Yun has the story.
Lee said public consultation for the policy address would run alongside the ongoing consultation for the 5-year plan, which began last week. Describing the 2 documents as interconnected, Lee said the 5-year plan is a forward-looking strategic document that sets the overall direction for Hong Kong's economic and social development over the next 5 years. The policy address, by contrast, outlines specific annual targets in response to the 5-year plan. Lee also noted that his meeting with the education sector, which focused on the university town proposal in the northern metropolis, was useful for the drafting of the 5-year plan. University Grants Committee Chairman Tim Lui described the university town and the development of an international education hub as a core element of the plan that aligns with Beijing's expectations for the SAR. Loy stressed that the plan is flexible and does not restrict institutions' development models or projects. He added that the government respects the autonomy of tertiary institutions and encourages them to leverage their respective strengths to develop a diverse range of initiatives in the area. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
The Philippines has temporarily blocked online game Gorebox after a rare school shooting killed 3 students and injured 20 others. Initial investigation found that one of the 2 teenage suspects was a regular player. Jimmy Liu has more.
On Monday, 2 students aged 14 and 15 allegedly fired handguns inside a classroom at San Jose National High School in Tacloban City. Investigation found that the 14-year-old has been posting violent content online and was a regular player of Gorebox, a first-person video game that allows players to experiment with various weapons in a sandbox. The game's description says players can obliterate anything they desire and engage in brutal combat. It is rated for those aged 18 or older due to extreme violence and has over 10 million downloads on Google Play. The country's cybersecurity agency issued a temporary ban on Gorebox pending investigation. The agency said it cannot ignore possible online influences that may have contributed to the tragic incident. Police filed murder charges against the 15-year-old, while the 14-year-old is too young to be charged under Philippine law. Authorities said both teenagers may have been bullied and the alleged attack carried out as retribution, and they are looking into the possibility that the shooting was a larger trend or pattern of nihilistic violent extremism. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
Oil prices have fallen below levels last seen before the US-Iran war started in late February as more oil tankers exited the Strait of Hormuz. Brent crude, the global benchmark, fell to a low of $72.24 a barrel on Thursday, slightly lower than the day before the US and Israel launched missile attacks on Tehran on February 28th. Prices have fallen more than 20% this month. More than 20 oil tankers carrying about 35 million barrels of crude have passed through the Strait of Hormuz since the US and Iran reached an agreement to reopen the key shipping route. Vessel traffic doubled over the previous 24 hours to its highest level since late February. Analysts forecast Brent to fall to $60 to $65 a barrel over the next 6 to 12 months as Strait of Hormuz flows normalize. Now let's take a look at the stock market. The Hang Seng Index ended the day down 335 points. Top active stocks of the day: Alibaba was down $4.40. Tencent was down $7.40. SMIC was up $1.20, and Kimboard was up $1.90. Foreign exchange against the Hong Kong dollar: Euro 8.89, Japanese yen 48.44. On to the weather now. Mainly cloudy with a few showers and squally thunderstorms. Showers will be heavier in some areas. Sunny intervals tomorrow morning. And that's our news tonight. I'm Quentin Yan. Thank you for watching. Good night.